Yo, what's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, February 18th. I hope you had a nice long weekend if you had that day off. So we got a new high in the S&P today, and I said that was going to happen based on strong flows. I think there was a quarterly interest payment today. I'll see it in the daily Treasury statement tomorrow. And as I've been saying, there's no evidence right now. I cannot see anything that points to any sort of spending cuts from this DOGE stuff, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. As a matter of fact, when I look at the fiscal flows, they continue to trend higher. So, I mean, as long as that is the condition, that's the real monetary condition. It's not with all these monetarists freaking out over whatever the Fed does, they change their position every single day based on something Powell says. They got the understanding of monetarism like completely wrong. Completely wrong. I had a laugh yesterday, as a matter of fact. There was the Japanese GDP came in surprisingly stronger than forecasts, and that is with Bank of Japan now raising interest rates. I mean, and here we go again. I mean, the evidence is right out there. For I don't know how many years the Bank of Japan held the policy rate at negative 0.1% to negative 10 basis points, zero inflation, GDP growth was kind of crawling along. Then it raises rates 3 times. Now it's a positive rate. Guess what? Japanese GDP growing faster than expected. Now you would think, like all these monetarists at the central banks, they would start connecting the dots. They would look, oh my God, like Bank of Japan had negative rates for all these years and there was no inflation and GDP growth was really kind of tepid. And now they're raising interest rates and inflation is picking up and GDP growth is picking up. But no, I mean, it's just like they're fucking blind to that. I mean, it's really, really unbelievable. Anyway, I want to talk about this DOGE thing because I think like I'm an island unto myself in the way I view this. And I've done some other videos on this. And, I don't know, that's just me. I tend to be a contrarian, not because I feel like going against what everybody else is saying. It's just, that's me. That's the way I think. And I know a lot of people are really excited about this, the fraud and the all these crazy payments that the government was making and nobody had any accounting for that or whatever, to all kinds of crazy shit. And I can understand that. And I look at some of that stuff and I'm saying, yeah, it's ridiculous that was happening. But again, I'm going to say, like, what is all this for? Like, I get it that it's weeding out fraud and corruption and mismanagement and all this other crap. I get it. It does suck when you see these payments going to, I don't know, LGBTQ plays in Colombia or wherever the hell is going on. And now Elon Musk is saying, like, the Social Security Administration has like millions of people who are dead. I don't know. Some of these claims to me seem fantastical. Maybe they're true. I don't know. He posted up something on X that kind of showed the numbers. People over 200 years old, supposedly, allegedly, checks being sent out. I don't know if that's true or not. It just sounds crazy to me. But here's the point. Like, I know everybody, lots of people, not everybody. I mean, mostly conservatives, and I would put myself in that category. I voted for Trump. I want Trump to succeed. Okay? But, like, saving money for who? If it's not coming back to me in some way, shape, or form, look, I didn't know about any of these payments. I was oblivious to it, as we all were. Nobody knew about this. Maybe people on the inside who worked at these administrations or whatever, maybe even some of them, they didn't even know about it because a lot of this stuff, all of this stuff is just automated, okay? I didn't know about any of these things, and my life is my life, okay? I try to make money, I pay taxes like everybody else. I didn't know about any of these things going on. Now all these things are being exposed to me, which, it's cool. I'm on board with that. I mean, a lot of this shit, it's just nonsensical and it should be stopped. But who's getting those savings? I mean, if it's the government getting those savings, like nobody has really come out very directly and said, look, we're going to, because it's always couched in the phrase taxpayer money, like your money, my money, even though from an MMT understanding, that's really not true. But let's just go with that terminology. Let's use that terminology. If that's my money, and if that's your money, and it went to all these crazy things, and Elon Musk and DOGE, they're the new cop on the beat, and they're out there catching this fraud and catching these people who have been doing that and catching these departments and agencies that have been doing that. How do we get that back? If they're all excited, I mean, I think that most people who are excited about this, they've only thought it through halfway. And the halfway point is where they're cheering about the fact that this fraud and corruption has been exposed in crazy shit. Okay, it's one thing to give $300 billion to Ukraine. It's another thing to be giving money to, like I said before, these crazy programs and other things. And by the way, I'm also against giving $300 billion to Ukraine, if you want to know. But I mean, when does that come back to me? Basically, what we're talking about here, let's set the fraud and the corruption aside, because I'm on board with that. I agree with that. But if this whole thing was driven by the goal, if the goal of this whole thing was saving money, you're saving money for who? For the government? And basically what you're talking about really is, you're saving what? You're saving like electrons. I mean, government spends at a keystroke, the touch of a button on a computer. I mean, how the hell is that helping me? How is that coming back to me? Now, I know some of you have said, Mike, just have patience, give it some time. Congress, we're going to get tax cuts, which is going to be fantastic. But from what I understand with the budget bill that's going on in Congress right now, they're looking to reduce the deficit. So that bill is going to have a certain amount of tax cuts and it's going to have a certain amount of spending cuts. But what they want is that when you add both of those things up, the tax cuts and the spending cuts, it's going to shrink the deficit, which means a net drain. A drain. Removing money from us, the non-government. So how is this benefiting me? That's what I want to know. And everybody who's cheering about this and thinks that it's wonderful, and it is, believe me, because I get attacked when I say it, and people say, you don't understand. They're weeding out fraud. They're weeding out corruption. Okay, I get that. I understand that. But they keep telling me it's my tax dollars went to this thing, went to that thing, went to the other thing. When do I get it back? And if in the end, with all of this, what comes to pass is some kind of spending bill and tax bill which shrinks the deficit, then I didn't come out as a winner. You didn't come out as a winner. Nobody comes out as a winner in the non-government. You know who comes out as a winner? The government. That means those savings went to the government and not to us. And I believe that's how it's going to end up. I do believe that. Now, some people are going to make out, okay, we know this. We know who gets the benefit of tax cuts. I probably... I'll be honest, I probably will benefit from it. But society as a whole, in the aggregate, When we're talking about reducing the deficit and all this stuff is going to help us reduce the deficit, all that means is that that money is just going to go back to the government, a government which has absolutely zero inability to create that money. It doesn't need to save its own money. We need that money because if we're going to be taxed, we need to have the government's money to pay that tax. Again, the Monopoly game example that I've used so many times before. You land on chance or community chest, it says pay $75. You are just giving back some of the money that the game distributed. Same thing here, same principle here. So like, yeah, it's cool, you know, you got Elon, and everybody says he's a smart guy and he's a genius, and he probably is, like he's, you know, the rocket company and Tesla. But I'm an economist, and when I hear him talk about economics, at least on that subject, he's a fucking idiot. He doesn't understand anything. So yeah, he's a genius in rocketry. He's a genius in Tesla. He's a genius, I guess, in the brain implants. He's a genius in Skylink and all this other stuff. I don't take any of that stuff away from him, okay? I mean, I'm pretty handy myself. I do a lot of things, but I don't have a rocket company. I don't build automobiles. I can fix my car. I don't build electric cars. But when it comes to economics and the shit that he's saying, and I said this in a prior video, this is not a serious person. This is not a serious person. You cannot say the things that he's saying, that if we don't reduce the deficit, that the United States of America is going to go bankrupt. And because he's looked upon as this, you know, this gigantic genius of our age, of our times, people listen to that. I mean, he's receiving accolades with the DOGE. A lot of people loving what's going on. And again, I'm going to say, I'm there. I'm with him on the fraud and all that other shit. But how's it going to help me? That's what I want to know. When does it come back to me? And if the end result is Congress passing a package which shrinks the deficit, then all that has happened is that we got screwed again, okay? Because that's a net drain, that will be a net drain of our financial balances in the aggregate, okay, in the economy. Some people might have more, a lot of people are gonna have less. So I look at all these people celebrating and, you know, pumping their fist in the air, go Elon. But they don't understand. They only understand one part of it, which is the part of exposing all this crazy shit that's been going on. None of us knew about any of this shit before we were going about our lives. And now we're going about our lives knowing about this shit, but still probably not going to get anything back in return. So think about that. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But that's the way I see it right now. Nobody has come out and said, every day we hear, you know, we expose this thing and people living to 250 years old getting Social Security checks and gay operas in Colombia and this thing and that thing. We hear this every single day. I have not yet heard one person, Elon, the president or anything, say, Americans, you're going to get a big bonanza from this. The savings we are finding, we are going to directly transfer to you. I would love to hear somebody say that. It's all about the government is saving its dollars. You get me? The government is saving its dollar. Nobody has come out and said, Americans, my fellow Americans, what Elon has done, this great thing, this exposing this fraud and corruption, what he has done, this magnificent job that he has done for the American people, we're going to give those savings back to you. I would love to hear that, but you're not going to hear that. You're not going to hear that. I'm telling you. Anyway, that's it for today, folks. I'm very curious. Tomorrow's daily Treasury statement, I'll see the interest payment today. It was a little bit of a tepid day, but when the market was down, I sent out an email to my subscribers saying, like, you know, that's a nothing down. It's not going to last. As long as these fiscal flows are trending up, the market's going to keep going up. I mean, it's very simple. Anyway, please like and subscribe. And hey, I broke the 9,000 barrier on subscriptions. It took a little while, but finally above there, I think. I mean, the last time I looked. And please go to my website, check it out. pitbulleconomics.com. Sign up for a 30-day free trial to my report, MMT Trader. You'll get emails during the day and all the other stuff. Have a good one. Bye.